What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 best towns in all of England. Now, I gotta be honest about this topic. I might be able to name a couple of cities in England, like London, for that's a good one for starters, like Manchester or Liverpool, but as it pertains to towns in England, I don't think I'm alone here in saying that Americans such as myself, we really don't know anything about towns in England. I don't know if I could name one town in England. Maybe if I sat here long enough, but we don't have all day. So this video is kind of funny to me because it's not only going to introduce me to the best towns in England, I'm actually curious how they are deciding what are the top 10 best towns in England, what kind of metrics they're using, or is this an opinion, or how are they coming up with these towns? But on a side note, it's also introducing me to the existence of towns in England in general, which I think will be fun. Kind of an introduction to towns in England, and getting to check out some of the coolest, best places to live in England, which sounds very interesting. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
10. Malden.
Okay.
Let's add that Malden, one of the 10 best towns in England and the seat of the Malden district, is a town and civil parish. It's also the starting point of the famous Chelmer and Blackwater navigation.
They just said a lot of words that I have no idea what they mean. On a more basic level, just looking at this opening photo of Malden, it looks very nice. It honestly, I mean, there's a maze. There's like a hedge maze. It's on the water, which makes anything a bit more beautiful. Boats, sort of a boating town, or wow, they actually have some big Viking ships over there. Okay, that's kind of my knee-jerk reaction to all of this.
This beautiful town, renowned for Malden's sea salt being produced in the area, has been ranked one of the best places in the UK by several sources.
Oh, so this town is just straight up one of the best places to live in the UK, basically. And when they say that, I imagine like best places to live from the point of view of you can get a career, you can start a family, or get a home, and it's kind of a nice community. Those general things that make somewhere kind of nice to live and grow old.
The 2016 Halifax Quality of Life Survey ranked Malden as the 36th best place to live in the UK, using measures such as residents' health and life expectancy, employment and median income.
Oh, okay, they did include employment and income. I was just thinking like, okay, it's ranked really highly because you can expect to live longer in Malden. I guess that's honestly a good reason. I don't know what they're putting in the water there, but your life expectancy is pretty high in Malden. But there's also other things as well. Okay, that makes sense.
If it enjoys such ranking among the towns of England in the entire United Kingdom, you should naturally expect it to be among my best towns in England.
Okay, so it is kind of the narrator's opinion as well. He's saying, okay, I rank Malden really high. That's good to know as well. I guess when it comes to all this stuff, best places in England, it does come down to opinion at the very end. Okay, number 9.
9. Hart. Hart is featuring here on another one of my listings, the 10 best towns in England. The town in southeast England passed as one of the best for accommodation in Hampshire.
Best of in accommodations. I just gotta say, looking at these photos, this is the most town-looking town I've ever seen, and I would have believed that this was some random town in the United States. This just looks like a town right here. Like, I don't know what to say.
Life expectancy is higher here in Hart. Almost all of the locals enjoy good or fairly good health. You can live a meaningful life that'll enhance your health here. The good weather in this town contributes to that good health of the residents.
Good weather. I wonder if there's something about where Hart is geographically located that would actually make it a better weather compared to other places in England?
Hart is one of the best towns in England because it's also among the wealthiest. It's a place where you can earn big with reduced hours of work. If Hart can...
See, I'm glad that the narrator is throwing in some sort of data, sort of metrics, kind of not really getting specific, but this is a wealthy town. Hart.
Counts as one of the best towns in the UK. It's certainly one of the best towns in England.
Okay.
8. Frome.
Frome.
Frome, a town and civil parish in eastern Somerset, is another one of the best towns in England.
Okay.
The town, whose 2011 population census was given as 26,203, is a pretty cobbled town with its period architecture and
A cobble. I've never heard that word used to describe anything ever until this moment. It's a cobbled town, which actually makes sense. It looks like there's literally like cobblestone paths or roads. And I think he's about to touch on this, but it looks like compared to the other towns, this has kind of older style architecture, maybe a more historical feel.
and it's been deservedly named severally in 2021 as one of the best places to live in the UK.
Okay.
The location, toward the east of the Mendip Hills and centering on the River Frome, may not be the most convenient, but it's cool for daily commuters working about 13 miles away in Bath, 43 miles away in Taunton, and 107 miles in London.
Okay. Well, 107 miles isn't short, but you're like under 2 hours from London. You're like under an hour from Bath, I think he said. So it's just like a nice little town to live in if you want to be near some of the major cities in England. So that's nice.
Others, non-commuters, are happy to be in this town because they enjoy canoeing in the River Frome while having gorgeous riverside walks.
That's true. That's actually true. Having a literal river like run down your community, you can actually take advantage of that if you're into canoeing and stuff. That's honestly just like a nice perk. Not everywhere has a random river.
Frome affords you all sorts of clubs and classes, including angling and Zumba.
Oh, Zumba! Living from one of the best towns in England, it's got Zumba classes.
7. Selby.
Selby? That sounds a bit familiar. Is Selby famous? I feel like I've heard that town name before, but nothing at all comes to my mind when I think of it, but it just sounds familiar.
A Halifax survey has named Selby the top spot in Yorkshire when it comes to the quality of life. It's here, based on its high ratings, it enjoys on employment, housing costs, earnings, traffic, education, health, and crime.
Okay, so it's basically just very well rated in a large variety of like metrics for happiness and where you'd want to live. This is just highly rated in general.
When I mentioned Selby earlier, I didn't add that the Halifax Quality of Life survey found the Selby district particularly attractive for folks seeking a stress-free life. With
How do they calculate that? How do they do that? Wait, so you want to go to Selby to particularly if you're looking to have a stress-free life. That's good to know. I wonder how accurate that is, or why.
Affordable housing and low rainfall. Now.
Oh, because of the low rain. Affordable housing and not too much rain. That will de-stress your life a bit, I suppose.
It's one of the 10 best towns in England. Selby is also well connected.
Oh, it's got very cool architecture as well, but I feel like as an American, like I need to get it through my head that a lot of the towns and cities in England are going to have like some forms of this architecture that's like really stunning and unique to me. Like I never see this. This does not exist in the United States, so it's like this is just cool. Even if you can find this sort of thing in multiple towns, this is still really cool.
Providing easy access to the hustle and bustle of Leeds, York, and other nearby cities.
Right, and it's near other cities. That is nice. So this is number 6.
6. Altrincham.
Altrincham. I gotta say, besides Selby, I truly have never heard of any of these towns so far, ever. Not even by name. Like Malden, Hart, Frome, Altrincham. How'd they pronounce this?
York and other nearby cities. 6. Altrincham.
Altrincham. Never heard of that.
Altrincham is a market town in Greater Manchester, located south of the River Mersey. It's 8 miles southwest of Manchester city centre.
Oh, that's cool. It's right by Manchester, but technically, like, you're not having to live in the city. You're, like, in this cool little town. I actually really like how some of these towns are very, very close to big cities, but you're not having to live in the big city. That seems really nice.
I consider Altrincham one of the 10 best towns in England because of its supremely sociable and boldly independent market. This super suburb has trams and trains right into Manchester.
Oh, that's so cool. Like, has a market, the public transportation. Like, I gotta say, especially thinking about how in America, there's no trams, the buses are terrible, they don't hardly go anywhere, and you don't really want to be on them. And there's certainly no, like underground metro or subway just going like that has been built as an infrastructure to get people from towns into the city. That's just fantastic, like on its face. Even if that is somewhat common in England, that really sticks out to me as being like, wow, that's really nice. I wish we had that.
The rate at which this street transformed from the worst high street in Britain to one of the liveliest is remarkable.
Huh.
Also, adding Altrincham to the list of 10 best towns in England are pup-friendly parks, gorgeous period houses, and...
Wait, what friendly parks?
List of 10 best towns in England are pup-friendly parks.
Pup? Like dog? Like dog parks? Okay. Pup. Excuse me, pup.
Gorgeous period houses and schools for the benefit of the most tigerish of parents, among others. There are clubs and classes for kids run by the community-minded football club as well.
Okay.
5. Wokingham.
Wokingham. Okay.
The next city in my list of 10 best towns in England is Wokingham. You can't contest this one. Several leading surveys rank it as one of the best places in England, and I've once added my accolade.
So Wokingham is like known for being like one of the best places to live in England. Not just this guy's opinion, but like widely known as. What makes it so good, I wonder?
This market town is not far from Reading, Camberley, Bracknell and Maidenhead. Also, it's...
I don't know any of those places. That's... I don't know. That means nothing to me. I have no idea. Apparently, Wokingham is nearby a lot of other places. That's good.
Easily accessible. It has its own train station leading directly into London Waterloo.
Oh, wow. Like that is just incredible to me. How many of these towns have such good public transportation? Like, is that sad that is just astonishing to me? You just don't find that in America.
Wokingham enjoys loud ovations owing to its low crime rate, high family satisfaction, good schools, and smooth transport links.
Wow. It sounds like a really, really nice place if you're looking to, like, start a family, raise a family. Low crime. It's hard to put a price on just feeling safe in a safe community. So I like this a lot.
It often tops lists of family-friendly locations.
Yeah.
If anyone outside the town is in doubt, the residents say they are enjoying good health. And thus, it's one of the healthiest places to live in not just England, but the whole of the UK.
One of the healthiest? I wonder what is that about? Like, people just live longer, or is everyone on the same Mediterranean keto diet together, or is that a law in the town?
4. Ilkley.
Ilkley. I would not have known how to pronounce this. Ilkley, okay.
Ilkley in West Yorkshire finds its way to the list of the 10 best towns in England as it already tops all the list in the north and northeast.
Okay, so this town is to the northeast, considered very good.
Eco-conscious town pars beauty with humour. Full of hills and crags, the former spot...
Wow! This is incredible! Oh my gosh, if this is your town, and you can just travel just within your town and find places like this, looking over the English countryside, that is astounding. That is an amazing view. And there's a dog.
Spa town of Ilkley has a special appeal to residents and visitors.
Wow.
The town attaches the highest importance to preserving the ecosystem. Carbon footprint is being carefully monitored.
Oh, that's good. Eco-friendly town. It's also got some of its own incredible architecture. Looks like some historical architecture here. Very cool.
In fact, the town has a climate action group that takes it upon itself to ensure that the town remains free of pollution.
Wow.
It's, for example, undertaking the Ilkley Clean River campaign to accomplish the cleansing of the River Wharfe.
Wow. I mean, I've never heard about that in an American town where there's an entire council or active group dedicated to keeping pollution and waste low in the town. That sounds really nice. I wish Americans in my town were like that much of activists of keeping the town clean and eco-friendly. That's really amazing.
What more could be required to list it as one of the 10 best towns in England?
Right.
3. Stamford, Lincolnshire.
Stamford, Lincolnshire. Okay. Number 3. We're getting down to it now.
Stamford, in Lincolnshire, has since registered its name in the books of the history of England. It's been recognised as an important crossing point on the River Well, as well as an important Saxon burgh. It's also one of the 5 boroughs in charge of Danelaw. The formerly wall-made town...
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't really understand a lot of what he's saying about this town so far, but it sounds very interesting. Maybe I should listen to it one more time.
Important crossing point on the River Well.
It's an important crossing point on the river, this town.
As well as an important Saxon burgh.
A Saxon burgh? I have no idea what that means.
It's also one of the 5 boroughs in charge of Danelaw.
One of the 5 boroughs in charge of Danelaw. I have no idea what that means either. I think we're speaking in English right now. In the English language. These are such British terms or something that I don't even know.
The formerly wall-made town has kept its period charms, while its broadband is cool.
Well, okay.
These are not the only reasons Stamford ranked top. In the last 10 years, it has consistently found its way to the list of the top best towns in England. In some recent rankings, the town was again named one of the best places to live in Britain.
Wow, one of the best places to live in all of Britain, actually. It also has a river or a canal here with beautiful bridges and stuff. This is just a beautiful looking town.
In addition to being one of the top 10 in the Midlands. For this and many more reasons, I consider Stamford to be one of the 10 best towns in England.
Wow, yeah, it really has a lot of brick structures I'm seeing here as well. Really an older look to it. Historical look.
2. Berkhamsted.
Berkhamsted. Never heard of that, ever.
Berkhamsted is a town in the county of Hertfordshire in the east.
Okay.
Just 4 miles to the town of Tring and to the major town of Hemel Hempstead. Berkhamsted, also 26 miles northwest of London, lies south...
There we go. we just gotta relate everything back to London, then I can get it through my brain a little bit of where we are.
Hemel Hempstead. Berkhamsted, also 26 miles northwest of London, lies southeast of the Buckinghamshire border. Berkhamsted declares itself a transition town, implying that residents of the town need to consider sustainability, which is the hallmark of this lovely market town, topping the list for the southeast.
A lot of market towns on this list. I assume that means that the town has like some kind of active marketplace where there's fresh food, maybe locally grown and locally sourced food and stuff available. Sounds very cool.
Among the various factors adding Berkhamsted to my list of the best towns in England are job opportunities, leisure facilities, excellent schooling, culture, shops, transportation, open green spaces, and broadband speed.
Wow, there are open green spaces and broadband, like good internet. Honestly, that would kind of sell me on it. I'm not even kidding. This is just incredible looking right here. I would love to know how expensive those houses are, because that looks like an insane neighborhood. That looks super nice. This looks like a super nice community.
Berkhamsted has a fast and direct link to London via train and efficient road connections.
And it's by train connected to London. I don't even think that makes it special. It sounds like a lot of these towns have dedicated railways or public transportation that'll get you to the major cities that are nearby. And just as a general thought, that's fantastic. Like, amazing. Like, actually, compared to what you have to do in the United States, hop in your car and just fend for yourself.
1. Stroud.
Okay, number 1, Stroud. That almost sounds familiar, but again, nothing comes to mind when I think of Stroud. This is number 1. I am curious if that means to the narrator if this is the #1 best town in England, perhaps?
Again, the town of Stroud is crowning this list. What more can be said about the town, where every single Saturday is always a spectacle? A breezy...
Every Saturday is a spectacle. What on earth does that mean? I mean, I don't know, depending on who you ask. Like, I don't know if I want every Saturday to be a big spectacle. What does that mean?
The stroll in the town centre greets your eyes with the sight of families queuing at stalls to sell donuts, and your nose with the smell of Thai food that fills the air.
Okay.
Another typical sight in this best town in England is that of a lone woman striding past with a large piece of cardboard bearing the inscription, "Stop Racism." Everywhere in this beautiful town, you see the direction of wooded hills appearing through gaps.
Okay. We got families buying and selling donuts. We have women walking through the town with signs saying "Stop Racism." I mean, that's good. I hope that's not a problem or anything here.
Gaps between buildings. You can also see a dog in a life jacket floating on a paddleboard on the restored canal. In this...
Say no more. Say no more. Moving to Stroud immediately. They got dogs in life jackets bobbing around. Just living their best life.
It's one of the best towns of England. Things are happening, pointing to the fact that everyone aims at keeping the town independent and local.
Wow, and I'm just looking at the picture here. This is, again, some of these views of, like, the English countryside by these towns are just amazing. I've never really seen any views like this. Like, just the countryside. Like, it's actually beautiful.
You'd have no difficulty in agreeing that these are presently the best towns in England.
Okay.
However, if you know of any towns that should have been included or excluded, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Okay, and there you have it. I'm sure this was somewhat controversial. I'm sure there's so many towns that could have been considered on this list, but as far as I'm concerned, this was very enjoyable and kind of just an introduction for me into many of the wonderful towns that you can find in England. So this was by Learning Canteen, and I liked it. I got to give that a like. That was quite enjoyable. I mean, all those places looked fantastic, beautiful. They were citing some of the metrics, most of them with long life expectancy, low stress, low crime, nice places to raise a family or just to have a career. Or those all just seemed like such nice places to live in England. Many of them you can get to the major cities, London and other places, through the local public transportation. That's like a super bonus to me. You're not going to really find that in America very often, so these were all fantastic. Very much enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to British culture, stuff in Britain and England that I have never seen or learned about, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.